Most of the time, people weren't interacting with me. I wasn't interacting with them.
A Cards with Michael production.
Hello, welcome back. Cards with Michael here today. We have the most nostalgic, the oldest, the coolest Modern Masters. That is the box that we're breaking up today, and it's going to be a good time. Modern Masters, of course, this is the original, was printed in 2013 as a summer set. It was the first Modern Masters set of, it was the first Master set of the whole series, and it was a big hit. I mean, so big that when it was first printed, and maybe this was done intentionally by Wizards, no one knows, or I don't know it rather, but it was so popular, no one could get their hands on this stuff. Like, packs were selling for crazy amounts, like $40 a pack. That's like $800 a box, basically. I mean, it was just so popular, and it was a decent amount of value too. I mean, back in the day, Tarmogoyf, which was one of the marquee reprints in the set, gonna do our slips right now while I talk, was like a $200 card. And if you hit a foil Tarmogoyf, oh geez. So nowadays, of course, the estimated expected value of the box is a lot lower, but we'll still have a great time opening it today. We'll still have a great time. Without further ado, of course, we'll go ahead and get cracking. Man, just look at that art. This was City of Brass, of course, which was a modern. It was much more played back in the day, before they reprinted something. Before they printed something called Mana Confluence. But still, such epic art. I would say that of all the master sets, this is the most nostalgic. My story with this one is I never got a chance to open one of these. When this was first printed in 2013, I was still in college, and I could not afford a box like this. So for me, this is a beautiful experience. I mean, this box is so old. You can see like there's some oldness here. Here, of course, was Dark Confidant. It was reprinted. Just one of those value mythics. The packs themselves, they're already like a little mixed up. But geez, I'm so excited to open this with you all. I'm just so excited. It is a set that really kind of was a turning point, in my opinion, for Wizards of the Coast in terms of their premium booster pack offering. I think master sets are what really gave them the idea to do things like collector packs, and what really made them realize that, hey, we have a lot of reprint equity. Like, we don't need to make too many more new cards on our summer sets. We can just reprint some stuff, make sure it's the good stuff, do some really cool epic art with artists that a lot of people love, and we will sell product like no other. And they've been doing that for a while now with Double Masters, of course, even Core 2021. It's basically a reprint set. Like, there's some new cards, of course, but so many reprints and new art, alt art, showcase borders, full art borders, extended art borders. Oh man, they've really figured out their strategy. And you know what's the cool part and sad part? I want to get my hands on that kind of stuff. It looks so cool. Like the Ugin. Oh man, all those Teferis. I want one. Like, who wouldn't want one? They're so cool. All right, without further ado, we'll start opening packs. All right, here we go. This first pack is for John Mythic. And let's see. All the Mythics in this set, Modern Masters, the original, are still very valuable. Practically all the Mythics. And there are some, commons and uncommons that have value as well, like this Eternal Witness, ding ding ding. That's a very, very nice hit. And it's, look, Therese Nielsen, an original art, just gorgeous, just gorgeous. Path to Exile, another hit right here, and a Woodfall Primus. All right, a foil Vivid Marsh, that's a sweet one. An old Goblin Rogue token. This was just, the set was just amazing. It was just an amazing set. All right, John Mythic for your second pack. Wow, look how I opened this pack. It's like a little transparent. I don't know if you can tell. It's because of the way I opened it. This is not how the pack actually looks, I think. I want to say. All right, here we go. Actually, no, these look a little transparent. I don't know if this was always a thing. All right, here we go. Our commons. Manamorphose, of course, is like a mythical uncommon at this point. Paradise Mantle, still same thing. Party Dragon was a downshift. And our first mythic already in pack 2, Progenitus, the foil Ivory Giant, the Saproling token. Jeez, that's a great hit. That's a great hit. Of course, this was reprinted as a Grand Prix promo as well, so it's valued a little down there, but still, what a sweet hit. kind of like this beautiful art. I love that logo too for the Mythics. I think they did a really good job making it just look nice and epic. All right, Johnny Mythic. Makes sense that, you know, your nickname, Johnny Mythic. Of course, I have John Mythic here. It's supposed to be Johnny Mythic. Sorry about that. Maybe my editor can just add the words NY in there. But sweet hit. What a beautiful Mythic to start things off. All right, 2 packs down. Next, we have Cody S with 4 packs of Modern Masters. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Here we go. Avian Changeling. Of course, there was a Changeling theme in this original Modern Masters, and a Sunburst theme, and a Thalid theme. When I say theme, I mean like a draft kind of environment. They also had the cycle of these basic land cyclers. So this is like a 6-minute instant that lets target player gain 8 life. Not very good rate, but it does have basic land cycling, so you can cycle this, search your library for any basic land. Kind of has that flexibility. Honestly, both sides of the card aren't very good, but it is to support kind of that Sunburst theme, that 5-color theme, or this domain, which is target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn for each basic land type among lands you control. So up to 5 is in standard Magic, number of basic lands. Of course, you know, Mystery Booster has its reprint. I won't even touch based on that. All right, got some uncommons. Mirror Retriever and a Rude Awakening is our first rare for a foil Manamorphose. That is a giant token here. That is a sweet hit. That is a sweet hit. And I think the foiling on the original Modern Masters feels really, really good. It feels really, really good. All right. All right, Cody, we got another pack for you. So far, so good. So far, really exciting packs. All right, here we go. Giant Dust Wasp, of course, with some Time Spiral. And here we go. Here we go. Kitchen Finks. Oh, that card is still seeing play in Modern. Of course, not as much so, because it does cost 3 mana. It's oftentimes in sideboards. It was obviously really, really good when Birthing Pod was a real deck, but then they banned Birthing Pod. So Relic Progenitus, you'll see this in Modern. You'll see this in any format where it's legal. Just a really good graveyard hate card, really flexible, and only 1 mana, and any color can play it because it is an artifact. Worm Harvest, all right. A Figure of Destiny. Oh man, what a classic. What a classic. This card kind of has that hero element where you basically level it up. At first rate, you know, 1 mana for a 1/1, not great. Then it becomes a 2/2, then becomes a 4/4, and if you can amass up to 6 mana all at once, it can be an 8/8 with flying and first strike. Not too shabby for something you originally only paid 1 mana for. This is something we call a mana sink, so it's really nice to have, and it really doesn't take too much to make it a 4/4. So solid card, sees played in a ton of cubes. Doesn't see a ton of play in actual standard, or sorry, actual Modern, but beautiful card, beautiful card. All right, and we have 2 more packs. We've already hit a Mythic, so maybe you're not expecting another Mythic immediately. I would expect about 3 Mythics per box. So let's see. Let's see. Really excited here. This next pack. Oh man, here we go. Echoing Truth, a Vivid Grove. Oh, love those Grove lands. They all come to play tapped, which is of course disadvantageous, a little bit slower to play, but they can add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, which is just amazing. You can really, really use these to fix your mana, and they have 2 charge counters, so they can do that twice, as well as providing, you know, the original color, which is in this case green. Another Kitchen Finks, beautiful, beautiful. A Feud Killer's Verdict. We did get that 5/5 Giant Warrior token. This is one of the things that makes it not really the best card, even in limited, but just a cool card. They did have a kind of like this tribal synergy with Changelings, Giants, and a Scion of Una. Speaking of tribal synergies, all your Changelings also get +1/+1 because they are considered fairies, and they give Shroud. Excuse me. Shroud, of course, was an ability that we don't see that often anymore. It's now replaced with Hexproofs. So the difference between Hexproof and Shroud is Shroud means no one can target this creature. But Hexproof means you as a player can target your own creatures, but your opponent can't. So Hexproof kind of intuitively is like a much better version of Shroud, but they still occasionally will print cards that are Shroud for various reasons. And here we go. We have another pack. All right. Struggling with this one. Alright. Another Suspend card. What a great card. On turn 2 you play this. It's Suspend 4, so about turn 6 you'll be able to get this into play, and it has haste and it's a 4/4 flying. Very good rate, very good limited card. Alright. And Street Wraith, of course. As a common, it is still really amazing because of that cycling ability. It's used obviously in more of the Death Shadow style decks, but some combo decks will play it anyway just so they can thin their deck out. It's basically like this. If you're willing to pay the 2 life, this card is kind of like one less card in your deck, because every time you draw it, you just cycle it immediately. Alright, Vivid March. Trump the Domains, a classic finisher in that format. And a little Stone Hewer Giant. Alright. The Foil Saltfield Recluse. Okay, your 4 packs, Cody. Got some nice, cool little shiny cards. That's Test of Faith, I think, is an awesome card, but the foiling is kind of okay. But the foiling on this Manamorphose, not too shabby at all. Of course, the Stone Hewer Giant was a Morningtide reprint. It's a pretty sweet card. Look at that. Search your library for an equipment, put it into the battlefield, attach it to a creature you control. Pretty solid effect, wouldn't you say? And that's the 4 packs for Cody, and we'll keep going. Alright. Mike M, will you earn your mythic status today? We're all waiting for you. Here, we'll try to open the Swords pack. Of course, this is the, I think, currently most valuable card in Modern Masters, Sword of Fire and Ice. I think a lot of people just really like the art. It is kind of a reprint. Of course, everything in the set is a reprint, but the art plus the symbol of that sword, Divinity of Pride, look at that. A little rare. Hammerheim Dead Eye, and a cool, look at that, an Elspeth token. Is just, I prefer it over the Masterpiece art, for example. And a foil one, oh man, that would really be the nuts. All right, here we go. We got our commons. Little Street Wraith, of course. Always have to highlight the Street Wraith because I think it might be over $1, and it's just, at a common, it is such a good card. All right, Desperate Ritual, Cloud Goat Ranger. Of course, this was the bomb uncommon in this limited format. 5 mana for 3/3, makes 3 other 1/1 white Kithkin soldiers. White wasn't even the best color in this format, but this was just straight up the best card. Like, this was the reason you went into white. And then you could tap those Kithkin to give Cloud Goat Ranger +2/+0 and flying. So basically, it could attack as a 5/5 flyer, but you have a bunch of bodies to chump block, do other stuff with. It was just such a good card. Oh, Grinning Ingus. There was a little bit of a Storm archetype here, which Grinning Ignis does help, but it wasn't very consistent. And the reason why I say there's a Storm archetype is you play 3 mana, the next turn you return it to your hand, then you play Grinning Ignis again, and you're actually up 2 mana and up a Storm count. So that was kind of the point of Ignis. Obviously 3 mana for 2/2, a little Grey Ogre is not terrible, but obviously not very good for limited. Not very good. And a Tome Stalker and a foil Terramorphic Expanse. All right. Tome Stalker, of course, did see play in Legacy, and still kind of did until they printed Gurmag Angler, which was a slightly better. It cost 1 less mana, but it only cost 1 black, and it was a 5/5, didn't have flying, but still a lot of people preferred that over Tomb Stalker. So that's kind of what happened. There was also a Rebel sub theme, in this set. And we've seen a couple of them. I'll highlight them as we go. Oh, this was my favorite card, Etched Oracle. This was also a playmat as well. I have it, but I couldn't find it for today, so we're just rolling with it. It's just a beautiful art. Look at that. And it comes into play, if you can get Sunburst all 4, that means 4 different colors of mana. It comes into play with 4/4, and you can remove all 4 counters and have target player draw 3 cards. So if you ever played it with an extra mana up, it's just like your opponent, what do they do? Do they kill it? You draw 3 cards, or do they just let you have a 4 mana 4/4? It was a powerful card. Hirobi's Whisper. So there was a little arcane theme as well. This card was one of the best cards, just because you could splice onto another arcane spell. For example, Death Denied. And this one can let you do it for free. Exile 4 cards from your graveyard. That's the thing about Splice, is oftentimes you didn't have the mana to splice something to another spell because you'd have to pay for the first spell, right? So Hirobi's Whisper is just insane, which is a really, really good card. And here we have a sweet one, Gifts Ungiven. and a foil Rathy Trapper. All right, Kiss From Given was also an awesome card. People started figuring out combos with it, where like, you know, the way it's templated, it means that your opponent chooses 2 cards. So if you only choose 2 cards, your opponent has to choose both of them to go to your graveyard. Of course, this has spawned some combos, especially in Cube, with a card called Unbridled Rights. I don't know, maybe we'll just show it here, that has flashback, and basically any big fat creature that you want to reanimate. So that's kind of a cool little combo. Here's a little Storm card, Empty the Warrens. This set was really complex, had a lot of interactions, had a lot of fun decks, and it's basically like, to me, their attempt at having kind of like almost like a cube level draft, and I think they really did a good job. If you've ever drafted Modern Masters the original, you'll know what I mean. Like, it's so, everything feels kind of like there's a reason, there's a place for it, and it's just a very powerful and fun set. Moloku. Oh, wait. All right. So Mike Mythic, those are your 3. I got carried away. Matt D, this is your rare. Oh man, let me do some quick. All right. Okay. So this was Matt D's pack. Oh, and a foil City of Brass. Let me go ahead and put Mike Mythic's cards away. I'm so sorry. Story time sometimes just gets me into this mood where I'm just so reminiscent, having such a good time, that I do apologize for that little snafu here. But this is for Matt D. Oh man, we saw the Moloku, the Clouded Mirror, and this was an insane rare and limited. If you can imagine, you can untap with this, and now you're making easily 2-3 tokens, 1/1 flyers per turn. Oh, such a powerful card, such a powerful card. And here we have a City of Brass, a foil City of Brass. This is the Art's Sake card of the box, and look, it's just so sweet. Oh, what a grand art from Jung Park. All right, that was pack number 1 for Matt D. And we'll keep rolling. That's, of course, 3 more packs. Here we go. All right. Rebels, look at that. A Spell Snare. Now this card was so good back in the day. 2 mana. There's so many 2 mana threats. Tarmogoyf, for example. It mainly was countering Tarmogoyf now that I think about it. Tar Pitcher, Trigon Predator, and a Cryptic Command. Ding ding ding, that's definitely a hit as well. This, of course, was, you know, it's still seeing play in Modern, and it's just the house. Like, every single counter spell has to be compared to Cryptic Command. Cryptic Command, of course, isn't just a counter spell. It also is card advantage, it's tempo advantage, and if you return a permanent to opponent's hand, that's often an ability that's used for value. You can return your own creature to your hand, a Snapcaster Mage, for example. So it was just what a sweet card, Cryptic Command. All right, here we go. What's pack number 3 for Matt? Got our commons, and here we have Murderous Redcap. Of course, that was also played in the Birthing Pod. It's, you know, one of the ways you could go infinite with Murderous Redcap. Muldrifter, oh, what a value card. And our first Sword of Light and Shadow. Oh, a foil rare again? Matt D with double foil rares? Goodness gracious, but oh man, the Sword of Light and Shadow. Not the most valuable, but still. Oh man. And do you see what I mean? Like, I really like the way that Mythic symbol looks. I think it's so clean and just so nice. Oh man. What a great hit. I'm glad that we hit a Mythic Sword because I think the swords are so beautiful, and I really think they did a good job with this cycle of art. Chris Ron, of course, did this one. Oh, what a great hit. And we still have 1 more pack. All right, so Matt D, let's see how we do. Little Lava Spike, Grape Shot, Pepper Smoke, Echoing Truth. All right, here we go. Plume Veil, Shrapnel Blast, Electrolyze, and a Demigod of Revenge. All right. And a foil Penumbra Spider. All right. So once again, what a nostalgic set. I just love opening this set. Never really had the chance to. In fact, I don't even recall. I think I drafted it once. Just once. So every time I open these packs, I'm like, oh man, What a great time. Just reminds me of, when I was still in my early college days and how fun Magic was. And, things have changed, times have changed since, but, that's naturally what a game does, right? There's power creep, of course. There's, the game as a business needs to function, needs to figure out what sells, what doesn't, and extended art, collector packs, orderless, showcase. That kind of stuff sells. All right, Death by Teacup. We have your first pack, and Eternal Witness. What a great little hit. Lovely. Feud Killer's Verdict, Frozen Grip, and Akira, great glass spinner, followed up by a foil Blight Speaker. The Rebel. The Rebels all have this ability where 2-mana Rebel, plus 2 mana of its original cost as an activated ability. Tap it, search your library for something that's +1. So these Rebels really were cool. They basically were recruiting each other, and like Blight Speaker could recruit a 3-mana Rebel, for example, and Amru Seekers. Of course, this one doesn't have the recruiting ability, so the ones that did have recruiting ability were a little bit, more sought after during draft. More sought after. All right, and we have 3 more packs for Death by Teacup. Murderous Redcap, of course. Sand Sower, Warm Harvest, and a Tooth and Nail. Now that's a sweet hit. And an Arcbound Wanderer. All right. Let's go ahead, sleeve up this Tooth and Nail. I don't think this is the best art of Tooth and Nail, but it was a reprint and it is a really epic card. Obviously it's used in cubes. It is a combo killer. I don't really think it's used anywhere else these days, but just really sweet. Really sweet. All right, Death by Teacup. We still have 2 more packs for you. Gosh, what a set. This set, this isn't gonna be something you're gonna see often. I'll just put it that way, because even back in the day, there were very few boxes. Relic of Progenitus, Tribal Flames, Hirobi's Whisper, and an Engineered Explosives. All right. That is pretty good. Little Sentinel Wood Readers. Oh man, that's a pretty good hit. But every time I see Engineered Explosives, I think of the first time I ever played Modern. I didn't have a deck, so I borrowed my friend's, what was that deck? The Hexproof deck that had little, Glade Cover Scout and all those little Hexproof creatures, and you just put enchantments on them, auras on them, and you just go to town. And my blue-white opponent said they only had the single Engineered Explosives. Yeah, they lost game 1, then they drew it on games 2 and 3, the single 1 copy, and all you need to do is put Engineered Explosives for 1, and you pretty much wipe the board of the Hexproof, the Boggles deck, that's what it was called. And I had a bad time. But I mean, that was the deck. Like, most of the time, people weren't interacting with me. I wasn't interacting with them. They would Lightning Helix me. I would give my, big 5/5/6/6 lifelink, and then we were just, playing this race. Mad Auntie, Tromp the Domains, Earwig Squad. All right, and a foil Rift Sweeper. Okay. That was a 4th rare for Death by Teacup. Not too shabby. Sweet hits all around. Of course, these Fairy Rogue tokens might even be worth something. I mean, there's not that many out there in the market, and the deck, the creature that makes them, Una, needs like a bunch. You don't just make 1, you make like 10 at a time. All right, Jamesy, we have a single pack for you. All right, we still have a chance at a Mythic. Still have plenty of shots to hit a Mythic. Let's see what we get. Here we have a Lava Spike. That's a nice little start. Amru Scout, another one of those rebels that can recruit more rebels. Have more rebels join the rebellion. Of course, the cool thing is these rebels can also recruit any changeling. Another Spell Snare, Sudden Shock, Riftwing Cloudskate. Oh, sweet hits. Oh, Peer Through the Depths, foil, but look at that! Chalice of the Void, my friends. This is not that played in Modern anymore, but in Legacy and Vintage, this is a powerhouse. This is just a powerhouse. There are these lands called Soul Lands. That was a really good 1-pack snipe, James. Soul Lands, which are lands that tap for 2 mana. There's a bunch of them. City of Traders, for example, Ancient Tomb, And one of the classic plays in those formats is turn 1, you play a soul land, tap it for 2 mana, play Chalice of Void on 1, and there are some opponents that just can't win from that point. Like most of their deck is just 1, or it just really hampers them, because one of the cards that is played a lot in Legacy Vintage is Brainstorm, costs 1 mana. Ponder costs 1 mana. Swords to Plowshares costs 1 mana. A bunch of creatures, Delver costs 1 mana. And if you can't, obviously if you're the deck that's playing Chalice of Void, typically you don't have a lot of spells that cost 1 mana. Or even if you do, you've done a cost benefit analysis and you know that it's a lot worse for your opponent than you to not have access to 1 mana spells. Because your opponent can still destroy your Chalice with like a 2 mana spell or something like that. So yeah, it's a calculated risk and just a very big powerhouse. It's a big powerhouse. It's kind of hard to really see it in action until you watch the gameplay and you realize, wow, Chalice of Void can really take over some games. All right, next we have Brabble and Jenny, 2 packs, 1 for each. We'll do Brabble first. All right, what do we have here? All right, Marsh Flitter is our uncommon. Tide Hollowscolor, nice little classic. Pathithis, I have no idea how to pronounce it. And a Greater Gargadon, followed by a foil Empty the Warrens with a corresponding little goblin token. That's nice. That is really nice. All right, and for Jenny, a single pack. Let's do this. All right, here we go. A Spore Sower Thallid, Paradise Mantle, Jackmore Salvage, and Jorah of the Gitu. And a foil Reach Through the Mist. Beautiful. Jorah of the Gitu, of course, is played often as a commander, just because you can exile any non-land card from your hand, so things that are like Emrakul, for example, things that cost a ton of mana, and give it Suspend. So, and it only costs 2 mana. And now you have like an Emrakul and Suspend and like all this other stuff. And the cool thing is the way Suspend works is you cast it. So that Emrakul, you'll be casting it in 3 turns. And of course there are ways to get counters off those suspended cards. Paradox Haze, another card that gives you multiple upkeep triggers. So it's a pretty fun commander. I don't know if you're gonna be great friends with everyone on the table if you play it all the time, but it is a commander. Adamo, we have the last 4 packs of the box for you. I believe we should still see another mythic, because even though Chalice of Void is such a good hit, it is just a rare in the set. Avian Changeling, one of the best changelings. Even if it wasn't a changeling, it was still a solid 3 mana 2/2 flyer. But because what is a changeling? It's a giant, it's a rebel. It has really nice little benefits. Thirst for Knowledge, Pardic Dragon, Mull Drifter, my favorite, the Value Elemental, and a Dragonstorm, followed up by a foil Careful Consideration. Okay, Dragonstorm of course was a not played too much in Limited because it's hard to get a lot of dragons, but in Constructed it was kind of this like deck for a while, but didn't really take off just because it's pretty easy to, back in the day before they banned a bunch of cards that helped Storm, to really hit Storm, and all you needed to do was Dragonstorm for 4, get 4 Garden Hellkites, and your opponent was dead. So that was one of the ways that deck worked, but nowadays they just use a little Rift Elemental here, one of the things that can remove time counters. And nowadays they just Grape Shot you for 6 or 7, 10, 12. Spore Sower, Vivid Meadow, Grasp, Maelstrom Pulse. That's a great hit. A little foil Death Denied. Okay, all right. 2 more packs. I'm really expecting another mythic. I'm really expecting it. I think like it's supposed to be 7 rares, 1 mythic. That's the distribution. So let's see. All right. We talked about this. The mythic uncommon Cloud Goat Ranger, Mirror Retriever, Una, Queen of the Fae, and a foil Kodama's Reach. Oh, that's a beautiful one. Oh man, Una, of course, reprinted in Secret Lair. It's just such a sweet card. Look at the art. And you can kind of tell maybe that there's a little fairies all around her. She was Queen of the Fae. Adam Rex. Outstanding job. And the very last pack. Will we see a mythic again? I really think we should, but my fate is in the hands of this pack. All right. I don't know why sometimes I just get really bad at opening these. All right, here we go. Flicker Wisp, Vivid Craig, Death Rattle. All right. A mythic! A little Bob, and that's so cool. It came in the Bob art. Of course, we say Bob. Bob Mayer was the original. He won the Worlds. I don't remember what year. I actually played him a couple times. But this is not the image of him. The original Dark Confidant image, or maybe we'll put that card up here, was what he looked like. This kind of looks like Skrillex, the artist, the musician. Foil Arcbound Stinger. Now that is such a beautiful hit. Dark Confidant, of course, was played a lot in Modern, particularly in the Jund variants, which were like green-black or green-black-red variants, or even green-black-white, the Junk Abzan, back in the day called Junk. Nowadays, it's not seeing as much play, but still, it's a very classic card. It is, Black's version of card advantage by, you lose life equal to the converted mana cost. So if it's a land that you reveal at the beginning of your upkeep, it's free. You get that extra card in your hand. Then you go to your draw step, you draw an actual card for your turn. But if it's an Emrakul, if it's an Una, if it's, something costs 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, you'll be taking a ton of damage, and it doesn't take much. Dark Confidant can kill you. This is not a May trigger, by the way. You have to do this every turn. Oh man, I'm glad we hit that last mythic. I'd expect 3 mythics per box at this point. We've opened enough master sets that the distribution has been pretty on point in terms of a box. Rarely do we see 2 and rarely do we see 4. It's a pretty high bell curve, so it was a pretty safe bet. But I'm glad that we did get it. So that is the box of Modern Masters. I had a really good time. This video, of course, went a little bit longer. I just really wanted to enjoy some of the cards, tell some stories. I hope you had a good time. If you enjoy these type of videos, please give a thumbs up on the video. Please subscribe and check out more of my content. And I'm really happy to have you here watching, and I really want to see you on the next one. Thank you again.